I'm sure you have heard or you have said about a million times, I just want to be me again. I want to be my old self. I want to be who I was before the trauma, before the pain, before the catastrophic thing, an event that happened in my life that changed me. There was a long time where I felt this way. I just wanted to go back to who I was, the untouched version of me, the version of me that wasn't broken down by the world or by other people. And I spent a long time hating who I had become. I want to take you back to who I was or the version I was before all of the events took place in my life that I feel like changed me. I was someone who was very much an extrovert. I felt like I got a lot of my energy from being with other people. I was constantly on the move. Always wanted to be out doing something, whether that meant just running errands throughout the day, going to an event or a party at night, going out with my friends on weekends. I always wanted to be moving out and doing something. And I felt like I had a really promising and positive outlook on the world, that anything was possible. I could move in any direction in which I wanted to. There was just a light and an air about me that I felt like that's who I was as a person. I have obviously alluded to the fact that there were a lot of things that happened in my life that I felt like changed me. One of them being my parents' divorce. I was in high school, and that is when I first found that who I was started to be altered by an outside circumstance. I remember I would show up to school, be in the middle of class, and just start bawling my eyes out because there was something happening behind the scenes with my home life. And I couldn't concentrate in school. I started to get really bad cystic acne. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to be seen. So I hid away. In my classes, I was less outgoing, and it was a really hard time for me. I was also dealing with the fact that I didn't know what I wanted to do for my future. All of my friends were applying and so excited to go to university. They were all super smart in the sciences, in the maths, and I was more of a drama, creative person, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew that university wasn't the right path for me, so I felt really, really stuck, really isolated, and really alone in that decision. Cut to the end of high school, and right before the beginning of going to school, I ended up deciding to go to a year program for songwriting and performance, and one of my childhood friends ended up passing away. This was really hard on myself and a lot of the people in my friend group. And that was something that obviously I did not expect to be navigating. And that really piled on to all the hurt I was already going through. To make things even worse, I ended up meeting a boy and falling in love. And I will go into this in another episode in its own because I feel like it's something that I need to get used to talking about. And I'm at a point in that journey where I've processed a lot and I've healed a lot. And of course, still healing from some things, but I really want to get into and talk about in another episode. But that relationship ended up being very toxic and emotionally and physically abusive. That I think was the nail in the coffin that really sent me into a downward spiral. I was in the darkest point of my life. I felt like there was absolutely no return from the depths of honestly hell that I felt like I was experiencing. I stopped saying yes to going out with my friends. I stopped leaving the house. There were days I couldn't even get out of bed. I felt like my life was essentially over. And I honestly didn't see myself living past 20. Honestly, I did not think I was going to make it. I felt like all the beautiful parts of myself, my personality, who I was, my outlook on the world were all destroyed and had crumbled before me. I had no hope at all, and I had no will to live or to survive another day. It was very, very hard for me to even leave the house. I remember one day I came downstairs and I just fell to my knees in the kitchen, just crying. And my sister said, let's go for a walk. And I resisted so hard. She's like, just around the block. Let's just walk around the block, walk for 5 minutes. And it took all my willpower and my strength to be able to go with her to walk outside. And I remember crying all the way through it because I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to move. I just want to be still. I was numb. And I had completely lost who I was. I was a shell of a human. I didn't even feel like I was a person. I just felt like I was existing. I dissociated from every single part of my life and any feeling I had towards anything. I was angry, I was numb, I was sad. And a lot of the negative emotions that I felt weren't even strong enough for me to really realize that I was angry because I felt numb. I was just so confused as to who I even was. I would look in the mirror and I would say, who am I? Like, I prayed every single night and every single morning. I wish I had never gone through any of the shit that I have gone through because I want to be the person who I was before. I don't want the lessons. I don't want the memories. I don't want the pain. I don't want the trauma. I don't want any of it. I don't want to be who I am today. I don't want to be who this made me. I want to be the person that was untouched from the world. I want to be the person that hasn't experienced any of this shit. I want to be who I was before. I want to be the happy Caroline. I want to be the fun Caroline. I want to be the optimistic Caroline. I want to be that girl. I don't want to be this girl. I don't want to be damaged. I don't want other people to think I'm damaged. I don't want to have to be the person that explains I'm this way because this happened to me. That felt like a huge and massive weight on my shoulders, and I didn't want it. And so my resistance to healing, or the fact that I wasn't able to heal as quickly as I could have, was that anger, was that mindset of, I just want to be me 5 years ago. But the reality is that girl's never coming back. And I need to accept this version of me because this version of me is the only one that exists. I need to come to terms with the fact that this Caroline is here for a reason. This Caroline is stronger for it, is more wise, is more patient, is more still, is someone who is more sure of herself and aligned with who she is. Someone who doesn't give up her power as easily. Someone who can navigate the world in a more effective and positive way. All of these things I didn't see. But once I accepted the fact that, okay, this is me. Maybe I am a little bit more guarded and a little bit more slow with my life and less giving of my energy to other people, that's okay. Maybe this is who I was supposed to become all along. And it took a long time for me to be able to even have this perspective. People would always say, you have to fight. You have to fight to live. You have to fight to heal. You have to fight every day to wake up and get out of bed. And I didn't know what that meant. I was like, fight? What do you mean fight? What does that look like? I was so in a depression that I didn't know what fighting for my life looked like. And what I've realized through this journey is fighting for your life doesn't have to mean this big thing. It doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to cost a shit ton of money. Fighting for your life can be waking up and saying 3 things you're grateful for in the morning before you get out of bed. Fighting for your life is getting the courage to wake up and take that shower. Fighting for your life is going on that walk around the block with your sister. Fighting for your life can mean texting a friend and saying, hey, I really need a hug, or I'm feeling this way today, or I'm struggling with this, or can we talk? Fighting for your life can simply be giving yourself grace and saying, I'm going to sit with myself now, with who I am, with all of the sadness and all the pain and all the trauma, and give myself a hug and say, it's okay to be this version of yourself. You have to love yourself unhealed as much as you love yourself healed. And an exercise that has really helped me in this process is to get into meditation. And you may not even want to get in meditation. You could just sit and visualize, taking that time and thinking to yourself through every version of you in your life. So first, what I do is I'll sit down and I'll close my eyes and I'll put on a meditative song. I will then envision myself as my 4-year-old self. I'll walk up to her, I'll look at her, I'll crouch down, I will look her in the eyes, I will give her the biggest hug, and I will say, You are worthy. You are beautiful. You are strong. You are creative. You are everything that I want to be and more. Then I will meet a version of myself who was told when I was little, you are too bossy, you are too loud, sit down, be quiet. I will meet that version of myself that heard all of those words. And I'll do the same thing. I'll crouch down, I'll look her in the eyes, I'll give her a big hug, and I'll say, you are empowered. You are confident. Your voice is needed. I will replace those words that I heard that were negative and that put me down, and I will replace them with positive sayings, one that empowers. And then I'll get up and I'll walk a little to my right and I'll meet that girl who was dealing with the fact that her parents didn't love each other anymore. And I'll look her in the eyes and I'll say, your parents are people. They want to be happy. They deserve to be happy. They deserve to feel loved. You are enough. You are loved. This decision has nothing to do with you. It is not your fault. I'll give her a hug and I'll get up and I'll walk to the next version of myself. The version of myself that was going through an abusive relationship. And I'll look at her and I'll say, this isn't your fault. This is not fair. You should not have to go through something like this, but you are strong and you are loved and you will move through it. And a bunch of other things that I want to say to her. I'll give her a hug and I'll move on. And so each version of myself, I will meet them with grace and with as much love as possible. And this exercise has completely transformed the love that I have for myself and the way I see myself, and has allowed me to let go of so much of that anger that I was holding on to for the fact that I wish I navigated certain relationships differently. I wish I had made certain decisions. I wish I had healed differently. I wish I was healed in itself. Being able to meet myself there and show myself the love that I deserved in that moment has really allowed me to love myself now through everything. And something that I think is really important to note is that healing is not linear. Healing is circular. So healing comes around again and again and again. You may think that you're over the breakup that happened 3 years ago. And then you're driving around, you see a car that's similar to his, or you hear a song or whatever it may be, and all of a sudden you get this memory and those feelings rushing back. And so what I think people struggle with when they're on their healing journey is they think that it's going to be over. Like the healing is over, I've healed all that. And I was very much in that mindset, especially with the relationship that I was in. I remember just crying and crying to my friends saying, I thought I was healed. I did all the healing. I did the inner work. I talked to people. I talked to therapists. I did the breath work. I did the ice baths. I did the sauna sessions. I did everything. I did the journaling. Why am I still stuck? And the thing that we have to remember is healing's a journey. And again, it's circular. It's not linear. Something that my friend George Bryant said that really stuck with me was, you're doing the same reps at different depths. Same reps, different depths. You're going to go through another breakup potentially. You're going to go through another situation that is similar to the situation that you went in prior. You're going to go through hurdles that may mimic hurdles that you went through years prior. Or you may be healing one particular thing over and over and over again. It feels like you're stuck. It feels like you're not getting anywhere, but you are just putting in the reps at different depths. You are healing different depths of that pain and that trauma over and over and over again, deeper and deeper and deeper. If we can see my hands right now, if you guys are watching in video, I am putting emotion through of, you're going in circles, but that circle is moving forward and forward and forward and forward. So you're still going up that hill, but you may go up and then slip back a little bit. And then you're going to go up again and slip back a little bit, and up and up and up until eventually you're going to reach the top of that mountain, and you're going to see that all of the back and forth, 3 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back, was moving you and pushing you into such a deeper sense of healing and love, and that all of that was necessary. because there are things at different depths that you need to heal. And so that is something that has really healed me on my healing journey as well, knowing that it may come up again, and that's okay. And to meet yourself with grace and love and know that you're going to move through that pain and that healing era and be even further ahead. And then it's going to come up again. And that's life. But remember that it's okay. The negative emotions are okay. That is something that I think also is just so important. So many of us, including myself, have felt or feel that happiness is the end goal. The positive emotions are the only ones that are okay. And this is life. Life is full of ups and downs. I think the beauty of being human and being able to feel emotions is that we get to feel all of them. If every single day it was sunny outside and it never rained, would we appreciate the sun as much as we do? If we didn't go through seasons, right now in Toronto, it's becoming to be the end of the cold season and coming into spring, but it is so cold and it is so dark and it sucks. But then you think about, okay, would I appreciate the summer as much if I didn't have this winter? I think that once we come to terms with the fact that all emotions are beautiful, every single one, and that they help us appreciate the other, it will help us be more expansive as human beings, more vulnerable and more alive. I thought the healed version of myself and that healing would mean that I would be returned to the me before, that I would be who I was again, and I would be that old Caroline. That's what I thought the finish line was. But now I know that there is no finish line. I will never be that girl again. I will never be the Caroline that was the one I held in such high regard. And I won't be this Caroline a year from now, even a month from now, even probably tomorrow. Even doing this podcast is pushing me in a way that nothing else can push me. It's helping me grow. It's helping me hone in on my throat chakra, on being able to talk confidently and to talk about these hard things that a lot of people don't talk about. And so once I hit end on the record button, I'm not going to be the same Caroline. I'm going to be a Caroline that has grown a little bit. And I think that that is so special. I think that that's so beautiful. And I think that's something that we can be proud of and that can help empower us. We are always evolving. We are always shifting. We are always changing. We are always stepping into a new version of ourselves. And once we embrace that, once we embrace evolution and not staying still and not staying stuck, that is what will help us feel empowered. And that is what will help us stay aligned into our true destiny, into the life that we want to create. And it will help us co-create with the universe and be exactly where we need to be. So my message today is that old version of you, love them, appreciate them, accept them, but let them go. Leave them in the past where they are. There are parts that you can carry with you, but there are also parts that have to be left in the past. And that this version of you right now is the version that you need to be focusing on. And a version of you that is always moving and always changing and never stuck in one spot. So cheers to the version of us now who is constantly in evolution. Thank you so much, you guys, for listening to this episode of the podcast. I am so grateful and honored for you guys to be here. Today's a short one, but I thought it's something that is super important that I wanted to talk about. And I hope you guys got a lot of insights into the healing journey and showing up in loving yourself and staying empowered. If you guys have any questions or any takeaways from this episode, please feel free to shoot me a DM. I am happy to answer and talk to you guys about this episode. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am so excited to join you guys on the next episode. Love you and thank you so much for being here. See you soon.